Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal 135 based on novel. So let's start. The short old man's body trembled, but his eyes were still bulged as he said, "I'm a celestial. You still dare to disrespect me?" Not waiting for the old man to finish speaking, Wang Lin frowned and coldly looked at him. He slowly raised his right hand and a ghostly light appeared in his grasp. He no longer bothered with the old man's nonsense. With the soul search spell in hand, he pressed it against the old man's head. The old man let out a scream, but he was helpless, and because his body was tied up by the celestial capture net, he simply couldn't dodge. His eyes were filled with fear as he quickly shouted, "I'll talk. I'll talk." Wang Lin didn't stop, and just as he was about to press down with his right hand, his expression changed slightly and he stopped his hand. Outside the tower, a passage was suddenly sliced open within the black cloud above the soul refining tribe, and the sound of a blade hymn pierced through the sky. The black blade moved as fast as lightning and closed in on the tower in a flash. Shu Ligua was inside the black blade and was holding the brush in his hand. He immediately entered the tower, revealed an expression to please, and quickly said, "Master, little Shu has caught the treasure for you, but I'm dead tired." "Master, you don't know how fast this treasure ran." "Not bad." Wang Lin nodded and reached out with his right hand. When the brush flew into his hand, he immediately felt the celestial spiritual energy cycling inside the brush. There was also a strong pressure contained within the brush. After hearing Wang Lin's praise, Shu Ligua let out a grin. After his betrayal failed, he had been looking for a chance to gain more merit. This time he finally got a chance. Wang Lin ignored Shu Ligua and the half-moon blade. He held the brush and slowly closed his eyes. Then he activated the celestial spiritual energy inside his body and slowly entered the brush. At this moment, a golden light appeared on the tip of the brush. The golden light became brighter and brighter as Wang Lin's celestial spiritual energy entered it. In the end, the light lit up the entire tower. From the distance, it looked like the tower was giving off a golden flow. At this moment, all of the tribe members of the soul refining tribe showed their piety by kneeling down and bowing toward the tower. The eyes of the old man caught by the celestial capture net couldn't help but shrink when he saw the dazzling light the brush gave off in Wang Lin's hand. He felt a sour taste in his heart. When he picked up the brush back then, there was also a golden light. However, comparing that golden light to the golden light in front of him now, one was like the sun and the other was just a firefly. So what if he can make it give off a powerful, golden light? I just don't believe he can comprehend how to use this celestial item without my guidance. It has to be said that back then, if it wasn't for the jade, I wouldn't have figured out how to use the celestial brush. Of course, a lot of it had to do with my own intelligence. As the old man thought of this, there was a glimmer of pride in his eyes. However, the pride in his eyes quickly changed into daze, and this daze quickly turned into shock. He saw Wang Lin suddenly open his eyes and draw a one-stroke symbol with one wave of his hand. This is impossible. Yes, this person is only a bit more intelligent than me, so after he saw me use it, he was able to learn it. Yes, this has to be the case. Just as the short old man was thinking of this, the next scene caused him to scream out loud. Wang Lin's eyes also seemed to contain a hint of golden light at this moment. He waved his hand again, adding another stroke to form a two-stroke symbol. Wang Lin's right hand didn't stop, he made another stroke. At this moment, a three-stroke symbol that glowed like the sun appeared before him. At the moment this symbol was formed, the celestial spiritual energy in Wang Lin's body activated on its own and entered the symbol. In the eyes of Shu Ligua and the short old man, the three-stroke symbol gave off a feeling of perfection. It was as if there was a heavenly Tao imprinted on the symbol. Waves of golden light spread out from the symbol, leaked out of the tower, and replaced the golden light from the tip of the brush. The golden light surrounded the heavens and earth. The black cloud that was the soul flag immediately melted and retreated, revealing the clear, blue sky. Wang Lin's eyes gave off a golden glow. His hand stopped in the air after drawing the third stroke. His white robe moved without any wind, and his loose, long hair flowed backwards. The aura of a celestial suddenly spread out from his body. He held the celestial brush as if he was a celestial himself. The golden symbol seemed to contain the heavens' Tao and a sense of majesty. Xu Liguo was completely stunned, and the golden light coming from Wang Lin caused his eyes to hurt. The golden light made him feel like he was facing something he couldn't resist. It was as if Wang Lin only needed but a thought to make him completely disappear. Although he had experienced this kind of feeling before, it was never this strong. At this moment, this feeling imprinted deep inside his heart. As for the short old man, he stared dumbfoundedly at Wang Lin. The shock in his eyes was monstrous as he exclaimed, "Celestial! Celestial Emperor!" Wang Lin took a deep breath and pointed at the symbol before him. The symbol immediately dissipated, turned into specks of light, flew out of the tower, and fused with the world. "Now tell me your identity." The golden light in Wang Lin's eyes slowly disappeared. However, his gaze was like a bolt of lightning as it pierced through the short old man's eyes and stared directly at his inner self. Wang Lin had used the heavenly devil sound. His voice contained devilish power as it entered the old man's ears and entangled itself with the old man's origin soul. The reason why Wang Lin didn't use the soul search spell was because even though the old man's mid-stage ascendant cultivation was an empty shelf, his origin soul had a power very different from the celestial guardians. With how cautious Wang Lin was, he wouldn't casually use the soul search spell unless it was the last resort or if he had a full grasp on the situation. The short old man's eyes were hollow as he muttered, "I'm from the refining feather sect, and my name is Huang Yu. I entered this demon spirit land because I was chased and hunted down by my enemies. Later, I didn't dare to leave and decided to stay here. Staying here is better. As long as I'm careful, there will be no danger here." Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he asked, "Where did you get the celestial seed and celestial treasures from?" "The demon spirit land." The old man said, "When I arrived here back then, I accidentally entered an abandoned cave and obtained them there." "What else did you obtain besides the celestial seed and the celestial brush?" Wang Lin's eyes showed a hint of fanaticism. The old man muttered, "I obtained a total of 2 bags of holding. One of them had no divine sense imprint and contained the celestial capture net and other things, including a jade. The other had a divine sense imprint on it, so I couldn't open it, but it was stolen by someone else." Wang Lin's eyes became serious and he said, "Who stole that bag of holding?" "It was a cultivation couple. Luckily, I split the 2 bags and imprinted my own divine sense on the other one. Otherwise, both would have been stolen." The short old man's eyes became even more hollow, but when talking about this, there was a trace of hatred in his eyes. This was clearly a huge blow to him. This was very natural. Anyone who had just obtained a great treasure only to have it snatched away right after would never forget the feeling of rising up to the sky and immediately falling. After carefully questioning about the appearance of the cultivation couple, Wang Lin asked, "What was recorded on the jade?" The old man slowly said, "It recorded several methods for using several celestial treasures and celestial spells. There was also the method to create celestial guardian puppets. However, there was a restriction on the jade, so I wasn't able to see all of its contents." He was still being locked onto by the golden light in Wang Lin's eyes and the heavenly devil sound, meaning he had no way of lying, so everything he said was the truth. "Where is the jade?" Wang Lin's eyes lit up. The old man said, "Inside my bag of holding." "How long can the celestial capture net trap for?" 3 days. Wang Lin waved his sleeves and a strand of celestial spiritual energy entered the old man, sealing his origin soul. Then Wang Lin closed his eyes and sat down in the lotus position to cultivate. As for the old man, he had passed out. However, the 3-talent sword formation remained just in case. 3 days of time flashed by. On the 3rd day, the celestial capture net that had the old man bundled up immediately released a flash of green light. It left the old man and flew to the side. Then it turned into a green net the size of one's palm. Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes and reached out with his right hand. The old man's bag of holding immediately flew into his hand. He scanned it with his divine sense and then slightly frowned. He reached out his right hand once more and grabbed the old man. After shaking the old man, more than 10 bags of holding fell from all parts of the old man's body. Wang Lin casually threw the old man to the side. Then the three-talent sword formation quickly flew toward the old man and completely locked the unconscious old man down. The bags of holding were scanned by Wang Lin one by one. Eventually, his gaze fell on a very ordinary-looking bag of holding. After wiping the old man's divine sense from the bag, his divine sense dove inside. This bag of holding had nothing but jades, all kinds of jade. After scanning the jades inside the bag, Wang Lin's eyes suddenly narrowed and his heart skipped a beat. He moved his right hand and a green jade appeared in his palm. This jade wasn't made of spirit stone or celestial jade but a material that Wang Lin had never seen before. It didn't seem to be wood nor stone, and when he held it in his hand, a warm aura surrounded his body. Wang Lin's divine sense entered the jade, and at this moment, his expression changed. His eyes glowed brightly before gradually dimming down. All of his attention was on the contents of the jade, and he was completely shocked. This jade recorded the usage of 3 celestial treasures and a real celestial spell. Qin Shuang, you just became a Rain Celestial Realm Celestial General, and as your father, this is my gift to you. These 3 celestial treasures were personally made by me. As for the celestial spell, although it is not a high-rank one, it is very interesting. I believe you will like it. The Pen of Immortal Touch is a treasure filled with the power of the sun. Father collected 12 suns and turned them into 12 symbols that can be drawn with the pen. Its power is acceptable. Celestial Capture Net. Although this treasure is pretty average, the soul inside it seems to have gained some intelligence. It is very interesting, so I believe you will like it. As for the third treasure, it is best used with your Rain Celestial Sword. This treasure is called Spirit Sheath. Putting the celestial sword inside it can strengthen the sword spirit within. Father used the origin celestial metal inside the celestial cleansing pool to make it. As for the celestial spell, although it is a low-quality celestial spell and its power is ordinary, it is a very interesting spell. This spell is called the Stop Spell. Father found this on a mysterious planet by accident. Unfortunately, it wasn't complete, but Father was able to restore it after researching the spell. Father guessed that this was only part of a large combination spell. Unfortunately, what I found was incomplete, so I was unable to restore the entire combination spell. The excitement on Wang Lin's face gradually calmed down. The jade was divided into 3 parts. The first part was a detailed description and instructions for 3 celestial treasures. There was no restriction on this part of the jade and it could easily be accessed. As for the other 2 parts, there were restrictions placed on them. When one tried to check them with their divine sense, there would just be chaotic images and words, making them unable to see everything. The second part had the method to create celestial guardians. The short old man was able to learn about the celestial guardians from seeing pieces of the second part. There was also this remark left in the jade: Father placed a bloodline restriction on this jade. Without your bloodline, it is impossible to break the restriction on this jade. However, this jade has existed for far too long enough that even with this person's powerful cultivation, it couldn't offset the passage of time. The restriction on the first section was gone, and the restriction on the second section had loosened greatly. Only the restriction on the last section was still completely intact. Out of the 3 celestial treasures, I only see 2. The spirit sheath is not there. These items were given to a woman named Qin Shuang. If her name is Qin, then her father is. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he whispered, Celestial Emperor Qin Lin. After carefully looking at the jade in his hand, Wang Lin began to ponder. Wang Lin closed his eyes. According to the tone of this jade, this Qin Shuang was the Rain Celestial Emperor's daughter. She also had a weapon called the Rain Celestial Sword. He suddenly opened his eyes and there was a burst of golden light. Rain Celestial Sword. Rain Celestial Sword. Could there be such a shocking coincidence in this world? Could the female corpse that Senior Juyi was so infatuated with be Celestial Emperor Qin Lin's daughter? Wang Lin pondered a bit before slapping his bag of holding. The pagoda Juyi gave him flew out. Before it could grow, Wang Lin's right hand made a seal and pointed at the pagoda. The corpse of the woman in white, who was so beautiful that she could make anyone's heart race, slowly flew out. Looking at the female corpse, Wang Lin began to ponder even more. His eyes lit up, then his 2 fingers formed a sword and he waved it. A blade of wind flew out and a red mark immediately appeared on her wrist. However, before blood could even flow out, that mark immediately disappeared and returned to normal. Wang Lin's expression remained the same, but his eyes became even brighter. With a thought, Ling Tianho's sword energy entered his fingers. He immediately waved his hand again and another red mark appeared on the woman's wrist. Although it was still healing rapidly, this time it was obviously slower. A drop of red blood dripped down from the wound on the woman in white's wrist. Wang Lin withdrew Ling Tianho's sword energy and caught the drop of blood. He waved his sleeves and the woman flew back into the pagoda. He then put the pagoda back into his bag of holding. I only need to test it to see if you are really Qin Shuang. Wang Lin pressed the drop of blood on the jade without any hesitation. When the drop of blood landed on the jade, it immediately turned into red mist. The red mist gradually entered the jade. Then cracking sounds immediately came from the green jade and it lost a layer. A crystal clear green jade with a thin, blood-red line appeared. Wang Lin couldn't be bothered to observe how beautiful this jade was. He scanned it with his divine sense. Then he immediately sucked in a breath of cold air and began to ponder. The seal on the last 2 parts of this jade were opened. She was actually Qin Shuang. Wang Lin sighed. His divine sense returned to the jade to check the contents of the other 2 parts. Time slowly passed. Wang Lin had been immersed inside the jade for an unknown amount of time. The short old man had awakened on the 2nd day after Wang Lin became immersed with the jade. However, the 3-talent sword formation still surrounded him. Bursts of cold energy entered his body through the tips of the swords, making him not dare to move an inch. With his cultivation, he could vaguely see that the mystery of this formation wasn't in the swords themselves but the mysterious force within them. On top of that, there was also Shu Ligua watching him. Shu Ligua casually floated around the old man and would occasionally reveal a cold smile. He would hold the black blade and wave it around before the old man. Several days later, Wang Lin's divine sense returned from inside the jade. He opened his eyes and let out a long breath. These celestials are even more cruel than cultivators. The 2nd part of this jade had detailed records of making a puppet call the celestial guardian. This method isn't for celestials, it is meant to be used on cultivators. Cultivators were captured and refined. If it was successful, the resulting celestial guardian would be extremely powerful. According to the celestials, a celestial guardian wasn't a person, but a treasure. It was split between low, medium, and high quality. In the jade, it was stated that a low-quality celestial guardian is equal to a peak late-stage ascendant cultivator, which is the limit of the 1st step. As for medium quality and high quality, I am unable to determine where they are in the 2nd step. As for the 3rd part of the jade, it is a map. It looks like the topographic map of a cave. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he looked at the short old man. Wang Lin calmly said, "Hand it over." The short old man's face was filled with bitterness as he said, "You have all my bags of holding, what else do you want?" In his heart he cursed. This fellow named Wang is even worse than that cultivation couple. They only wanted one of my bags of holding, but this fellow named Wang doesn't want to leave me with anything. Wang Lin coldly looked at the old man and slapped his bag of holding. 10 pieces of broken jade flew out. These broken jades were the objects inside the 10 celestial guardians the old man had. After the old man saw the broken jades, his expression changed greatly. Wang Lin closed his right hand and the 10 broken jades fused into one. After that, he reached out and he grabbed the old man. Then his palm hit the old man's forehead and knocked the old man's origin soul out of his body. The moment the old man's origin soul flew out, Wang Lin spat out a mouthful of origin energy and surrounded the old man's origin soul with it. As the old man was refined, the celestial spiritual energy inside his origin soul slowly condensed into a finger-sized broken jade. After retrieving the broken jade, the old man's origin soul was thrown out of the tower and devoured by the black cloud outside, becoming a soul fragment within. As for the old man's body, Wang Lin didn't even look at it as he waved his sleeves and the body turned into dust. One of the reasons for throwing it to the soul flag was that it would be a waste otherwise. After all, it was a late-stage soul transformation origin soul. The other reason was that Wang Lin was interested in the cave the old man had found. However, Wang Lin knew that this was not the time to leave. The most important thing right now was to use the remaining couple of decades to make his cultivation and magical treasures reach a new peak. He need to be prepared for the 100-year agreement he had with the ancient demon. This was especially true for the 2 new treasures and the low-quality celestial spell he obtained. Thinking about the celestial spell, Wang Lin revealed a hint of excitement. This was a real celestial spell. All of the spells Wang Lin had learned in his life, aside from the celestial slaughter art, were created from imitating low-quality celestial spells. After all, celestial spells were simply too rare. Even people like the All-Seer had great desire for celestial spells, much less someone like Wang Lin. Celestial spells were real spells. These were powerful spells that were several times more powerful than normal spells. The demon spirit land attracted many cultivators and even caused them to be willing to slaughter and bow down to the natives. This was all for a chance to fuse with an ancient demon to learn a celestial spell. In order to obtain a celestial spell in the Heavenly Fate sect, one must hold the position of true disciple for countless years before being granted one. However, the All-Seer won't give the best one but choose an ordinary one. The stop spell. Wang Lin took a deep breath and the chant for this celestial spell appeared in his mind. He slowly closed his eyes and immersed himself inside this celestial spell. Time silently passed, and in the blink of an eye, 20 years went by. The battle between the Heavenly Demon Country and the Fire Demon Country had lasted for a very long time. Both sides became more and more heated up as the war dragged on. The other countries couldn't hold it any longer and finally decided to attack. The ancient demon from Sky Demon Country already considered this problem when he decided to start the war against the Fire Demon Country. As the rest of the countries were ready to make a move, he used his own power to seal Sky Demon City. As for the other cities of the Sky Demon Country, the ancient demon completely gave them up. He only guarded the capital and the Dragon Lake while waiting for the agreement with Wang Lin. He was not afraid of Wang Lin going back on the agreement. If Wang Lin really backed out, he would use his ability to search high and low until he killed Wang Lin. He believed that Wang Lin was not so short-sighted. Under this situation, the Soul Refining Tribe quickly expanded and strengthened itself. During the past several decades, in the battlefields in the Fire Demon Country, there were these mysterious people in black that gradually caught the attention of the two sides. These black-robed people would often appear on battlegrounds to absorb a large amount of soul fragments and take a lot of life with them. At the same time, each of them had killed countless enemies on the battlefield, and they all had outstanding performance. The demon soldiers that grew stronger rapidly in both armies were promoted to replace the dead generals. Wang Lin was not concerned with the battle in the Fire Demon Country. He had spent the last 20 years completely immersed in the celestial spell. Celestial spells couldn't be compared to normal spells, it was very difficult to learn them. 20 years was just the beginning for Wang Lin. While immersed in studying the celestial spell and celestial treasure, time flowed by like water, and unknowingly more than 50 years had passed. There were less than 10 years left until the agreement with the ancient demon. During these almost 100 years of time, in addition to studying the celestial spell and celestial treasures, Wang Lin never stopped imprinting on the scattered devil. During this time, the imprint became even stronger. After several decades, Wang Lin had only touched the edge of the stop celestial spell. The requirement for this celestial spell wasn't a certain amount of celestial spiritual energy but one's comprehension of the heavens. To be more accurate, the aspects covered by this celestial spell were far outside the grasp of cultivators. It was like a very esoteric knowledge that required constant studying and understanding before he could finally master and use it. Wang Lin spent many years gradually understanding the celestial slaughter art and eventually reached small completion. This stop spell was the same. Wang Lin forgot about time while immersed in the celestial spell. During the decades he had been in closed-door cultivation, the Soul Refining Tribe had sent large amounts of people to the front line in the Fire Demon Country to collect souls and strengthen themselves. This all changed once the troops of other countries entered the Sky Demon Country. Rather than going out, the tribe members defended the Sky Demon country. Large amounts of tribe members returned from the Fire Demon country and began battling the demon soldiers from various other demon countries. However, the power of the Soul Refining tribe was simply too small. They could only defend the area under the black cloud and couldn't leave it. Eventually, when the soldiers of the other demon countries found that they couldn't take Sky Demon City because it was sealed by the ancient demon, they turned their sights to the Soul Refining tribe. After all, there was something strange about this small tribe. The black cloud above this tribe that acted as a natural protection was especially strange. It blocked the attacking demon soldiers several times. Of course, not all of the demon countries had set their sights on the Soul Refining tribe. Only 2 of the country's leaders did, so the remaining 5 turned their attention to the Fire Demon country. The other 7 demon countries didn't send out too many demon soldiers. After all, they didn't have the determination to send out everything like the ancient demon of the Sky Demon country. At this moment, both the Water Demon country and the Thunder Demon country sent out a vice commander-in-chief with 100,000 demon soldiers. One came from the north and the other came from the south. The 2 armies surrounded the Soul Refining tribe. The vice commander-in-chief of the Water Demon country was a woman. Her appearance was ordinary, but her eyes gave off a cold light. Beside her was a demon general of the Water Demon country. As for the Thunder Demon country, their vice commander-in-chief was a burly middle-aged man. He was the only person not wearing armor, and there was lightning moving across his body and the ground under his feet was charred. This small savage tribe has such an incredible treasure. This is interesting. Although the burly man seemed to be talking to himself, his voice was like thunder. There was no gain from this trip to the Sky Demon country. However, taking this treasure back to the Demon Emperor is not a bad choice. The burly man's eyes lit up and he took a step. With a bang, the ground under him shattered and the charred area on the ground began to spread. The burly man's body quickly flew toward the black cloud. His speed was extremely fast and he had clearly reached the equivalent of an early-stage ascendant cultivator. With just one step, he crossed a long distance and arrived next to the black cloud surrounding the Soul Refining tribe. The waves of demonic spiritual energy around his body formed an invisible shield that pushed the black cloud back. Inside the Soul Refining tribe, Ouyang Hua's expression was calm as he stared at the sky. On the ground, the Soul Refining tribe members were all sitting in the lotus position and were completely focused. Ouyang Hua shouted, "Souls, scatter!" Suddenly, all of the tribe members released the soul fragments they had collected. In an instant, the entire world was filled with black gas made of soul fragments. Under the control of their respective masters, the mass of black gas condensed into a black river that charged at the burly man. The burly man let out a laugh. Rather than retreating, he rushed forward and threw out a punch. This punch contained a large amount of demonic spiritual energy, and it created a thunderous roar as it rushed out like a raging thunder dragon toward the incoming black river. Not far away, the vice commander-in-chief of the Water Demon country coldly looked at the battle and said, "The Thunder vice commander-in-chief underestimated this black cloud." One of the demon generals beside her was startled and asked, "My lord, could there be some hidden secrets about this black cloud? Will the Thunder vice commander-in-chief be able to break it? This black cloud is very strange and is composed of many soul fragments. If there is no one controlling it, the Thunder vice commander-in-chief can easily break it. However, if there is someone controlling it, I'm afraid he will have to give it his all to break it." The demon general beside the woman smiled. "That is for the best. We agreed that he would take the black fog and we would take the people of this tribe. This way we won't have to use any strength and get all the people of this Soul Refining tribe. After we go back and study them, we will definitely learn something." The thunder dragon created from the punch of the middle-aged man let out a thunderous roar and charged toward the black cloud formed by all the tribe members' soul fragments. The moment the two collided, a powerful shockwave appeared. An opening appeared in the black cloud as a result of this shockwave. Then the black river dissipated and the burly man laughed. "A mere tribe of savages dares to attack me. What a bunch of lowly ants." As the burly man spoke, he walked in through the gap in the black cloud. The soldiers of the Thunder Demon country all burst out in cheers. Their shouting wasn't any weaker than thunder. This added an infinite amount of momentum for the burly man. The woman from the water demon country was not far away. She shook her head and said, "There is no suspense left in this battle. From today onwards, this soul-refining tribe will cease to exist. Wait for the Thunder Vice Commander-in-Chief to take the Black Fog and then go capture the tribe members. If anyone dares to resist, just kill them." The various demon generals around her all acknowledged her order. The burly man stepped directly into soul-refining tribe with one step. He grinned as if he had already seen the panic and fear in this little tribe. However, at the moment he entered, he was immediately startled. This 50-kilometer area was filled with soul-refining tribe members sitting in the lotus position. They were all looking at him, only. There was no panic in their eyes like the burly man expected. Instead, their eyes were very calm, and this calmness was definitely not fake. There was even a deep sense of sarcasm and dense coldness within these calm eyes. These countless, strange gazes caused the Thunder Vice Commander-in-Chief's heart to skip a beat. His step involuntarily slowed down. From this position, he could see that at the center of the tribe there was a 5-kilometer wide area of empty space with a tall tower at the center. The moment he saw the tower, the burly man's eyes narrowed. With his knowledge, he naturally knew that large tribes all had their own beliefs. Right now this tower was clearly the core of their belief. The burly man sneered. "After I destroy this tower, I want to see if you can still have these kinds of gazes." He charged directly at the tower. None of the tribe members sitting there spoke, they only coldly looked at the burly man. This kind of silence was like an invisible pressure that made the burly man have the vague feeling that something was wrong. However, he had confidence in his cultivation. He let out a cold snort as he neared the tower and was about to throw a punch with his right fist. "Stop!" A bland and barely audible voice came from within the tower. This voice was very weak, but its appearance seemed to have stopped time. Even the black cloud became motionless at this moment. An unidentifiable power suddenly appeared and surrounded the burly man. This burly man's body trembled and the lightning that was constantly moving across his body stopped. At this moment, his aura completely disappeared. His body stopped in the air, completely motionless. His fist had already formed half an arc, but it would never be able to be sent out. The only thing that could move was his eyes. At this moment, the terror in his eyes was something he had never experienced before in his life. If the fear in his eyes was compared to an ocean, that ocean could drown the entire demon spirit land. Wang Lin's figure slowly walked out of the tower. His hair flowed behind him, and with the white robe he was wearing, he was like a celestial. After he came out, he didn't even look at the burly man and waved his sleeve. The burly man was immediately blown away by a powerful wind. He coughed out blood and was immediately thrown out of the soul-refining tribe. The burly man's body moved like a meteor, and along the way, a mist of blood bursted out from his body. Finally, his body smashed into the ground after leaving the soul-refining tribe. Up until now, he wasn't able to move his body an inch. The surroundings were completely silent. The pupils of the woman from the water demon country suddenly shrank. Her mind was completely blank when she saw this. However, she quickly recovered and shouted, "Quickly, retreat." Unfortunately, it was too late. Wang Lin had his hands behind his back as he floated out of the soul-refining tribe. The members of the soul-refining tribe exuded killing intent and immediately followed him. The woman from the water demon country's expression immediately changed and she shouted, "Formation." The demon soldiers had just started to move and the demonic spiritual energy had just begun to move. "Stop." Wang Lin opened his arms, raised his head, and closed his eyes. Decades of comprehension allowed him to touch the edge of the celestial spell. At this moment, it was his first time activating a celestial spell at full power. With one word, the world stopped moving. Everyone outside the soul-refining tribe stopped moving at this moment. The members of the soul-refining tribe seemed to have received an order and quickly rushed out to kill. At the same time, the black cloud over the soul-refining tribe spread out and covered the sky of the surrounding area. The woman from the water demon country was also frozen. However, after 3 breaths of time, a blue light surrounded her. Her eyes were filled with fear and she turned around to escape without any hesitation. Just at this moment, 3 rays of sword light flew out, immediately caught up to the woman, and surrounded her. The 3 sword spirits of Zishu, Haizhu, and Mo Yang released roars. The woman's heart trembled and the 3 swords pierced her body. There was a mist of blood and then she died. Wang Lin floated in the air and quietly felt the power of the celestial spell. It was as if the slaughter on the ground was happening in a different world. He didn't pay any attention to it at all. I still haven't fully grasped this celestial spell. But the date of my agreement with the ancient demon is about to arrive, so there is no time to continue comprehending. It is time to leave. Wang Lin waved his right hand and the 3 swords flew toward him. Zishu's mouth held the origin soul of that woman. 1 month later, Wang Lin left the soul refining tribe. When he left, he took away the 1 billion soul flag and left a strand of divine sense to guard the soul refining tribe. Wang Lin didn't immediately rush toward the fire demon country, he went to the cave first. On the revered dragon path, he carefully recorded all 11 symbols before leaving. The jade said that there are 12 symbols, but right now there are only 11. I don't know where that last symbol is. Wang Lin's expression was neutral as he stepped forward. He then activated the greater teleportation spell and headed straight for the fire demon country. The flames of war covered the entire fire demon country. The other 7 countries continued to increase their military tower within the fire demon country. This country had completely become a battleground. After nearly 100 years of war, the ground had been stained red. After entering the fire demon country, a thick smell of blood would rush towards you. Aside from blood, there were also countless broken corpses covering the ground. Bursts of death aura came from the corpses and formed a grey mist that shrouded the entire fire demon country. This was a battle to the death between the sky demon country and the fire demon country. It could even be said that there was no winner or loser in this battle. Instead, each life was traded for another as the power of the fire demon country was slowly erased. The capital of the fire demon country was completely empty. Even the demon emperor had personally entered the battle. Aside from the Holy Land, the Demon Valley, everywhere else was completely deserted. The ancient demon of the fire demon country imitated the ancient demon of the sky demon country. He sealed off the capital and didn't allow anyone to enter. The fire demon country's Demon Valley was not outside the city but in the depths of the city. Dense demonic spiritual energy spread out from the valley and shrouded the entire fire demon country's capital. Looking from a distance, the capital was surrounded by demonic spiritual energy, but there was also a large amount of death aura. It looked like a city within fog, and it caused people to feel sadness when they looked at it. When Wang Lin landed outside the capital of the fire demon country, his step made a crunch sound. This sound was all the more clear given how quiet the surroundings were. The dark red earth gave off a muddy feeling when one stepped on it. This muddy feeling came from the blood of tens of millions of people that had soaked the earth for the last 100 years. This video will end here.